We'll explain.
Plus, scammers may be attaching your address to stolen identities. More on an uptick in unemployment fraud nationwide.
And later, the Lewis and Clark County Detention Center announces its first positive case as Montana sets a record for coronavirus cases.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Thanks for trusting MTN on this Thursday evening. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Keely Van Mittendorf. For the third time in less than a week, Montana is reporting a daily record for positive COVID-19 cases. Today's report from the governor's coronavirus task force shows 333 positive cases. It breaks the single-day record of 293 set last Friday. To date, Montana has seen almost 11,500 cases with more than 2,500 active. 165 people have died, nearly 8,800 have recovered, and 128 are currently hospitalized. And one of the ways we're tracking the increase in cases is through the overall positivity rate in COVID-19 tests. That is the percentage of positive cases in each new batch of tests. And the percentage of positive results has been rising from about 2.5% on August 1st to almost 3.5% today. Now, according to the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, the percentage of positive cases is important because it can indicate how widespread the virus is in an area and whether levels of testing are keeping up with the spread of the disease.
Health officials in Roosevelt County are busy dealing with an onslaught of new COVID-19 cases. A post to Facebook earlier today confirmed 43 more cases overnight in the county. In all, there are 171 active cases compared to 67 last week. Officials said they're looking into a number of factors that could be behind the increased numbers. MTN News first reported on COVID-19 in Roosevelt County earlier this month after Wolf Point schools closed for cleaning following a positive student case. Recently, both Malta and Fairfield public schools canceled games scheduled at Wolf Point after consulting with health officials. Roosevelt County has a population of roughly 11,000, and the area has seen 291 total cases since the start of the pandemic, 119 recoveries, and 1 COVID-related death. It's now the 4th highest in the state for cases, behind Yellowstone, Flathead, and Cascade counties. Well, the Blackfeet Reservation is into a 14-day mandatory shutdown, after emergency meeting earlier today. That shutdown will begin this Sunday at midnight. They decided to wait until Sunday to give everyone on the reservation a chance to get supplies. The shutdown was based upon the recommendation by tribal public health officials, noting that for every 2 tests, 1 is positive. According to tribal officials, there are 83 active cases and a few hundred people are on quarantine. Law enforcement will be out in full force to cite and fine individuals not complying with the shutdown.
And new information tonight in the COVID situation at the Lewis and Clark County Detention Center. County authorities confirmed their first COVID-19 case inside the facility. Sheriff Dutton says a county detention officer tested positive Tuesday after reporting symptoms. Since then, all detention center staff and a majority of inmates have been tested. On Wednesday, results showed 1 inmate had tested positive. Dutton said they have placed everyone in that inmate's pod on quarantine for the next 14 days.
The people that were in the pod have already been exposed to the inmate who had it. So having just one separate one is not going to work. They've already been exposed.
And the sheriff's office is still waiting on other test results as they aren't yet releasing the number of negative tests. More than 100 inmates are currently inside the jail, and about a third of them have refused COVID testing. And an update from Sheriff Jesse Slaughter on the Cascade County Detention Center this week reported 68 active cases. 41 of those positive cases are in the county jail. 27 are in the state prison. Turning now to our forecast, it was a day to bundle up as fall temperatures continue.
MTN's Elizabeth Copeland joins us now with more.
Earlier this afternoon, a cold front moved through north central and northeast Montana, bringing wind, rain, and much colder air. While a few of those showers are still lingering across western Montana, a dry patch behind that cold front has settled in, really from Helena all the way up to Cut Bank, across the Rocky Mountain front, and then over to the northeast corner where Glasgow will shortly see some of those clear skies tonight. So if you are heading out right now, it will be cooler tonight, but mostly clear skies are in our forecast, at least for the capital city. You can see the moon there shining above our opportunity bank ICAM over Helena, and we're going to still see those clear skies at least for a few more more hours, but tomorrow some changes move into the forecast. So tonight, mostly cloudy across the northeast corner at least, but breezy for all of us. Friday, that breeze still sticks around. Another chance of showers returns to the forecast. That comes a little later on Friday afternoon, and then we start drying out for the beginning of the weekend with a few showers possible here and there. But we track the timing of our second round of showers back in our forecast coming up here shortly.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The Great Falls Public Library is trying to entice people to respond to the U.S. Census if they haven't done so already. This week and next week, the library's bookmobile will be at different locations in Cascade County offering prizes like wireless headphones and speakers for people who fill out a census form. The deadline to respond to the census is September 30th. Today, the bus was in Belts, but they visited several small towns already.
Got to see about 8 people there and got a couple of them to fill out the census, so it was kind of nice to get out in the smaller communities. For us, it's about getting the numbers so we can get a representative back in office so that we can get the support for Montana that we need to.
To find out where the bus will be next week or to respond to the census online, you can check out this story on our website. Well, the latest data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows Montanans are not stepping up to be counted. Montana now ranks second to last in the nation. In responses, it shows 91% of Montana households have responded to the survey. Only Alabama has a lower response rate. If you haven't been counted, officials urge you to do so before September 30th. Census data is used to help determine things like federal funding for education, social safety nets, and highway and infrastructure planning. If you haven't yet, you can head to 2020census.gov to be counted. Well, new tonight at 10, the booming housing market we're witnessing thanks to the pandemic is also a boom for scam artists.
MTN's Jay Cohn reports on a scam that uses new real estate listings to try to tap into millions of dollars in unemployment claims.
I'm Jay Cohn. This booming housing market we're witnessing thanks to the pandemic, it also turns out to be a big boom for scam artists. Now we're going to tell you about a scam that's targeting new real estate listings as a way to access millions of dollars in uninsurance claims. So imagine my surprise when I came to my mailbox the other day and found inside 10 letters from the state of Montana Department of Labor and Industry Unemployment Division. They all have my address on it, but with some other name. Jody Galgay, Andre Watkins, Harold Berry III, Bobby Rogers.
Likely victims of data breaches.
Oftentimes they're large criminal organizations. They don't reside in Montana. What they want to do is put a Montana address onto the stolen identity. So they are going out online to real estate listings and looking for addresses of property that is up for sale. And they're using that as their address.
When the new CARES Act added billions of federal unemployment dollars into the mix in response to the pandemic, scammers saw an opportunity. The result, an uptick in unemployment fraud in every state. In Montana, from June 1st to August 31st of this year, the Labor Department's Fraud Detection Unit stopped $189 million in fraudulent payments, plus another $185 million in potential payments were withheld.
In most cases, we already know this is a fraudulent claim. What the mail is a downstream effect of that. You know, we're trying to verify identities and incomes, and we're using mail to do that.
So what should you do if suddenly a batch of mail shows up from the Department of Labor Unemployment Division?
Please write return to sender on that, or NATA, or both, not at this address. And that will get returned to us. I encourage people, if they can, to stick it in the U.S. mailbox. We'll get it quicker. I'm thinking if the house is up for sale, there might be a hold on the mail, so the mail, the letter carrier is not checking that daily. If they can just throw that in the mailbox, it's great help to us.
Martin says anyone, employers included, if you start to receive a large amount of mail regarding uninsurance claims that you were not aware of or did not request, that could be a red flag of potential fraud. And he says, again, the department's fraud hotline is the quickest and the best place to report anything suspicious. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
Thanks, Jay. He tells us scammers have even created fake websites to entice people to give personal information. So the easiest way to check the legitimacy of a site is if it does not end with .gov, it's a fraud. Moving now to the campaign trail, funds for the two candidates in the running for Montana's top law enforcement officer are pouring in as voters decide who will be the next Attorney General in just over a month.
The race is seeing money from political action committees and donors from around the nation, but one candidate is leading in the latest fundraising numbers. Democrat Rafe Graybill raised $111,000 from August 16th to September 15th for a total of $614,000 raised to date. Graybill's campaign has seen $17,000 from political action committees. Republican Austin Knudsen raised $72,500 from August to September 15th for a total of $361,000. He's spent $16,000 compared to Graybill's $65,000 for the period. The Republican has seen about $23,000 from political action committees. And coming up this weekend, MTN will kick off our series of debates for U.S. Senate, Montana Governor, and on Saturday, U.S. House. Democrat Kathleen Williams and Republican Matt Rosendale take center stage with our panel of reporters.
You can watch Saturday night at 6 o'clock right here on KRTV or with the streaming app for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android TV. Coming up next after the break, private music teachers are singing the blues as financial troubles sink in.
Why the pandemic has struck a bad note with musicians.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
And welcome back. Well, the coronavirus is having an impact on private music teachers in Great Falls. They're seeing less students sign up for classes during the pandemic. Now, many private piano teachers say some of their students haven't returned and families don't have the extra cash to pay for lessons. Other teachers have transitioned to Zoom classes. They're making sure to clean instruments after every use. They're also requiring face coverings because piano lessons aren't part of the music curriculum. In Great Falls public schools, many families rely on private teachers for instruction. Piano teacher Judy Odell says during the uncertainty of the pandemic, music has been a source of comfort for her students.
I think it speaks to the expression of the emotion and the ability to lose yourself in music and have all the problems of the world drop away.
This year, the annual Montana Music Teachers Association convention will be held over Zoom, and a big focus will be on helping teachers with new technology.
In health news, more than 148 million American adults plan to take part in Halloween-related activities this year, according to an annual survey by the National Retail Federation. But this week, the CDC put out new guidelines urging people to celebrate safely. Mandy Gaither has more.
It used to be the time of year masks were worn for fun, not necessity. But COVID-19 will change Halloween this year. If you're trying to figure out how to celebrate, the CDC has new guidelines on that, saying many traditional Halloween activities can spread the virus. The agency's asking people to avoid doing things it deems high risk, including traditional door-to-door trick-or-treating, indoor costume parties, hay rides, and haunted houses with people who aren't members of your household. Some activities on the moderate risk list include one-way trick-or-treating, where goodie bags are lined up at a distance for families to grab and go. Having a small group outdoor open-air costume parade where people are distanced more than 6 feet apart. Visiting pumpkin patches or orchards with hand sanitizer, social distancing, and masks. But if you want to celebrate and face the lowest risk, the CDC offers these alternatives to traditional Halloween. Carving or decorating pumpkins with your family or outside at a safe distance with neighbors or friends. Decorating where you live. Doing a Halloween scavenger hunt, holding a virtual Halloween costume contest, or a movie night with your family. The agency says these will help keep you in the holiday spirit and help slow the spread of COVID. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Showers move in and out of our forecast on Thursday, but look to return on Friday. We track the timing coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland.
Welcome back on this Thursday evening. Some changes moving to our forecast a little later this afternoon. We expect another round of changes for Friday. So right now we still have some isolated showers across western Montana. But as you head to our side of the Rocky Mountain front, mostly dry air filling in behind this thick layer of clouds is now moving away with that cold front. So we're going to leave the high line mostly dry tonight. A few showers did fall mostly across the Helena area. But again, most of those clouds starting to dissolve as it hits the front. Looking at that dry air moving across at least the the plains right now. Not a lot of activity for the night, but we do have some changes coming into the forecast tomorrow, and this cold front continues pushing out. Even though rain is out for now, again, moving back in tomorrow, we're still going to keep some wind in our forecast, and that rain again returns tomorrow as well. So we got wind, rain, and cooler air not only today, but tomorrow as well. We have a 50% chance in most of north central Montana for Friday afternoon rain. A couple of showers are definitely possible on Saturday, but overall after that, we're keeping that high pressure back in and then kicking those showers out of our forecast. So we'll stay mostly dry next week, but that cold front is still sliding across eastern Montana right now. We'll see those clouds move out, but cooler air is starting to funnel in behind that cold front. That's what's going to keep us cooler for the next couple of days, really. And right now, anywhere between 5-10 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday. So we're definitely going to notice the cooler air. Temperatures are still holding steady right in those 50s overnight, 60s across Glasgow, a little warmer across the southeast where we haven't seen that cold front move through yet. So we've got some cooler air on the way. These temperatures, though, especially closer to the Rocky Mountain front, will dive tonight because of that dry air. Cloudless night means that we still have about 10-15 degrees to go before those overnight lows, because the heat we got today, what little of it we did get, allows it to escape into the upper atmosphere with a cloudless night. So it's going to be pretty chilly tonight. On top of that, we're still dealing with some wind across our area. Earlier in Cut Bank, we were seeing gusts closer to 50 miles per hour. We're now about 35-mile-per-hour gusts, and especially right along that front. And then as you head over to the east, about 20-25-mile-per-hour gusts for the northeast corner. So it's going to be a breezy, cooler night tonight. Another round of showers back in the forecast. Another disturbance moves through tomorrow. Waking up, again, a cloud-free, mostly cloud-free night. Cooler evening for us. Still a little breezy as you wake up tomorrow morning. Seeing the sunshine, though, is later in the afternoon, right about 4 or 5 p.m. Those clouds start building back in. We're going to get a few spotty showers across the northeast corner, a few building in across the southeast, but the bulk of that moisture stays in western Montana, jumping over the divide a little later on Friday evening. So that's why we still have chances of rain on Friday, especially Friday night into Saturday morning. That's when the bulk of that moisture is going to make it over the Rocky Mountain front, leaving us with moisture in the air, 65 degrees. Much cooler afternoon on Friday. A few spotty showers, especially in the morning, are possible, but the bulk of that moisture comes Friday night. Saturday, a few spotty showers as well. We're going to keep those cooler temperatures in the forecast for at least the beginning of the weekend. 65 on Friday and 62 on Saturday. And then after that, high pressure moves in, and that's going to kick out all those clouds and all those remaining showers as well. So 64 on Friday in Helena. Those showers are arriving a little earlier for us in the capital city, a little closer to the divide there. Those showers will arrive through the evening hours of Friday, start moving out on Saturday, and then by Sunday, sunshine returns, high pressure moves in, and we jump back to the 60s and 70s as we head to the beginning of next week.
Well, there are always spectacular sights to see in Yellowstone National Park, but one is really capturing a lot of attention. A grizzly has been enjoying a long picnic after drowning a huge bull elk and pulling it to the side of the Yellowstone River.
As MTN's Russ Riesinger reports, it's also been a feast for photographers.
For almost a week now, the 600 to 700 pound grizzly, known as number 791, has been camped out on the bank of the Yellowstone River at the northern end of Hidden Valley, enjoying a slow meal and giving people a view of nature that is usually reserved for National Geographic.
Oh yeah, there's people there at first light until last light.
Braden Raisler is one of the many photographers who have been staging across the river. He captured the pictures and video that you see here from about 150 yards away.
It's a real treat for photographers and tourists alike to have one this close to the road and one that's happened this long. Usually they only last a day or two, and a lot of the stuff usually happens at night when nobody can see.
It may be a one-course meal, but number 791 is taking his sweet time devouring it, never wandering far away from his prized prey, and also having to fend off a few challengers in the process. Check out this picture that another photographer, Seth Royal Croft, sent of a wolf bravely facing off with the bear. Number 791, as you might expect, held his own and continues to sit guard and sit pretty for pictures.
It's very, very rare, so it's been an amazing opportunity for everyone.
I'm Russ Riesinger reporting for MTN News.
Still to come on the 10 o'clock news, Special Olympics Montana athletes and coaches met in person for the first time since March to mark a special occasion.
We'll take you to the celebration after the break.
Hey, Hey everybody, Tom Wiley here from KRTV. This is my daughter Cece. Now we love reading books. We read almost every single night, sometimes multiple books per day, and that's why it's important to us to donate to the Scripps Howard Foundation to Give a Child a Book campaign. Of course, you can donate as well. You can find details on our website, krtv.com. All the money donated stays right here in Great Falls.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Welcome back. It's been a unique year for Montana Special Olympians. First, the state summer games moved to a digital format, and for the past few weeks, they participated in a remote basketball challenge in lieu of the annual state tournament in Butte.
But tonight at Lions Park, Great Falls athletes got to experience an event in person for the first time since March. Local law enforcement was on hand to hand out medals earned during the Fall Basketball Challenge. And though the athletes told MTN News they miss competing with their friends, they're making the best of the situation.
Even through COVID, they just show us what warriors they really are. You know, it's one of those things that some of them may not have the support of a family to get on a virtual training. Some of them may not have the technology or the devices they need, but they seem to find a way. While it's been a unique time for us, I think it's just one of those reminders that we look back and we see, you know, our athletes really do rise to the occasion.
And next up for athletes is state bowling. Special Olympics Montana staff is working still on the format, but are confident the event can move forward. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Showers return to the forecast Friday afternoon and evening for north central Montana, holding steady and cooler in the 60s for the weekend. A few isolated showers possible on Saturday, but then high pressure builds in. Temperatures start warming. We'll see that sunshine and warmer air take us into later next week.
Well, a new piece of artwork is now displayed on the River's Edge Trail in Great Falls. Local artist Alex Smithson created a metal octopus and donated it to the trail.
Now it's made entirely out of scrap metal and old tools. It weighs about 700 pounds. He already has several pieces on the trail and says the statue is sitting on the north end of West Bank Park. The artist says it has special meaning for him.
I've been playing at West Bank Park since I was a little kid, since I moved to Great Falls, catching snakes and fishing, so it's cool to have a piece right at West Bank Park now.
Now Smithson says he gets most of his scrap metal from garage sales.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very innovative use of some
right,
people's trash. And it's
what trash is another man's treasure.
That's right, or in this case, art.
Yeah. That's all the time we have tonight at 10. Thanks so much for watching.
Good night.